Hi, welcome back to this channel, Teatime with Peace and Joy. I'm Doris. So today we are going to go through the last 4 distorted thinking patterns that we haven't talked about. We talked about 8 already in the last 2 videos, and if you haven't seen them, you can go back and look at them. Okay, so today the first one, number 9, is overgeneralization. So what is that and how does that happen? That is when we are thinking about like one incident, but yet we use that to predict all the future outcome. For example, that is overgeneralization. So if there are some people like who wanted, for example, if a guy got divorced and he wanted to start dating other people again, but the first time he asked a girl out, and the girl was like, after first date, she's like, no, I don't think, I'm a good one for you, so I'm sorry, but I'm not going out with you again. Then, if he has some distorted pattern of thinking and use overgeneralization, you may think, oh, no girl will ever like me ever after this. No one would want to date me, right? And that is totally not true, but you're just seeing one instance and yet you overgeneralized it. So that may not be the best way to do things, and we tend to do that quite a bit. And so if you can catch yourself and find out, oh, I actually use overgeneralization, then that may really help you. So that is the first one. And number 10 is personalization. So, for example, if I had a really good relationship with my friend, so yesterday, my colleague, and yesterday we were at the pantry and we were talking and laughing and it was so much fun. And today, when we just got here, and she didn't even say hi to me, she just sat down. And when I tried to talk to her, she was like, didn't want to talk to me, and just like, oh yeah, and that's it. And didn't even laugh or smile or whatever. Like, what had happened? Is it me? Like, was it because yesterday someone told her something? Or maybe I did something wrong yesterday and so she's mad at me? Or is it just because, she finally realized that I'm not a fun person and then she doesn't want to socialize with me? So a million things went through the head. It can be like that, right? And that is personalization. You're trying to blame it on yourself or think that you are the reason for all of things. But that may not be the case. It could be that something happened in her family. It could be that she had a really bad dream in the morning and she really was not in a good mood, didn't want to talk to anyone. Or when she got out of her house, she went through every red light in the world to get to work and she's not in a good mood. So there could be a lot of possibilities and it may not be related to you at all, right? But if we keep thinking about that is because of us, then that can be really bad and that will really make us anxious about a lot of things. And it may not be just what we think it is. So give you another example. In our field, being a counselor, some clients may be actually mandated to come to us. For example, if they want the court want them to come to counseling before they can do certain things, or they may not want to be there. It was not their choice. And they may not really have really good attitude to us. They may have like an attitude when they come in and talk to us like, I don't want to improve, like you are the one who wants me to improve. I don't think I have a problem. And so it may be easy for especially an inexperienced counselor to feel belittled or feel like, oh, I didn't do a good job and that's why they have that reaction. But in reality, that may not be the case. So we have to really think about it, or it will be really hard in our world because if a car just cut you off, you're thinking, oh, I must be not driving fast enough. Or if I'm lining up to pay for myself, someone just cut the line and just stood right in front of me, and I may think, oh, am I looking like intimidated and they can just do that for me, with me? You think a lot of things, but that may not be related to you. It may be just they're in a hurry or other things, right? I'm not telling you to be not irresponsible and think that, oh, that's not me, that's you, or that is the situation, not me. No, I'm not saying that, but we have to really help ourselves to look at the situation objectively, or to find out more to determine is it really you, or we don't want that automatic thinking. That may not be the healthiest thing. Okay. And so number 11, the should or must statements. We always do that, right? So if you're a student, you may feel like, I have to finish, I must finish my homework today. And that is true, you should finish your homework, right? But if I say I must finish my homework today no matter what, that is like, the implication is no matter what, right? Because the due date is tonight. However, that may not be true. It depends on the situation. So for example, if I'm really sick today, and I know that I have a homework due today, if I tell myself I have to get it done today, then I'm limiting my own choices, and I may have better options. So would it be better if I email my professor or my teacher saying, I may not be able to finish it today because I'm really sick. Is it possible for me to give you what I have now and finish it later, or whatever? So you can think of alternatives if you didn't give yourself that must statement. But if you tend to always say those must statement or I should, and you are limiting yourself, and it may not be the best thing for you. So for example, if I always say that I should do this, I should do that, you are limiting your choices, and there may be other things that you can consider or you could have considered. So if you want to be more flexible when you are handling things, maybe you should eliminate that automatic thinking of must or should statements. So last but not least is the tunnel vision. So it's almost like a laser vision. You're just looking at like really narrowly. I could only look at like this. So this is what I see. So especially when we have bias on certain people already, we may have that tunnel vision. We may feel like, for example, if we feel like, oh, my boss always asks me to stay, and always, when I'm ready to go home, they always come in and say, can we have a minute? And that it turns into like 15 minutes, and then it turns out that they need something for you to get done that night, and it turns into a few hours of your life. So that may happen, right? But if we feel like, oh, my boss is like that, they always want to take advantage of us and use our own personal time to work on things. If you have that in your mind, it's really easy for you to have that tunnel vision and just see that and think that that is really what had happened, and they have that tendency, and but that may not be true. So if you really pull yourself out and look at it objectively, I'm not talking for your boss, and I understand that some of you may be frustrated with them. That's totally fine with me. I'm just like trying to help here. Okay, but if you try to look at it objectively, maybe over the last month that happened twice. And if I really look at it, oh, it happened twice because my boss actually talked to them and find out some problem that they have to be solved. And so my boss talked to me and we have to get it done. So maybe that was the case. Instead of your boss wanting to take advantage of you, maybe that was not the case, but it's just like something that has to get done quick. So yeah, so I hope all those patterns that I talked about help you to identify your own automatic thinking patterns that is maybe a little bit distorted, and you can help yourself to not do that. So again, in the first episode, I talked a little bit about how to use your knowledge, right? And now I'm going to talk about it again. So when you feel like you are reacting in a way that is not so good for you or not so healthy, you can try to look at it in a third person vision and look at what had really happened. And when you look at what had really happened, just look at that one thing that had happened instead of a million things that you assume, okay? And without your emotion, just like that had happened. So like the last example is that, okay, in this month, this is the second time my boss asked me to stay, and then I had something that I had to work at home for them and to submit in the morning. So that is the facts, right? Without the emotions and all other things. And then you can see if you have any type of pattern that you have, and if you do, I always tell you guys to journal, right? So if you want to write it down, you will find a pattern, or even if you don't want to do that, you can take a mental note, and eventually you may find some patterns that you have. And in that case, you can help to catch yourself and also to correct it. And as I said in the first episode for this series, I talked about how it is really helpful for people with anxiety disorder or depression. When they find out their thinking pattern, automatic thinking patterns, they can correct it, and it really helps. So I hope this episode helps you as well. So last but not least, I want to share with you a Bible verse here, and it's in Luke 12:25. Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? That is so true, right? Instead of worrying, having anxiety, or being really down on things, I really want us to try to look at those patterns, see if there is anything that we can eliminate, and so we have the peace, we have the joy that we can have in our life. And I would say, my number one tip will be rely on God, right? Pray, and then it will be much better. So if you like this type of video, please consider subscribing if you haven't done so. Click on the bell so you will get the notification when we upload our next video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and share with your friends so they can get the information as well. I will see you next time. Bye.